2NURFM.com, a broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.
I said the future is near. I was trying to be clever with words. Newcastle Institute for Energy and Resources is one of the cutting-edge institutes, the research institutes here in the Hunter that is looking at alternative energy. Alan Broadfoot is the director. He joins us in studio this morning. Alan, hello and welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you for welcoming.
What is it that you do at NEAR? Firstly, what's the organisation about? How did it get started and what do you do there? I know all that in 5 minutes or less would be great, but just broadly, Alan.
Well, the University of Newcastle is focusing on research agendas that under two flagships. One's the HMRI, which most people know, and also now we have the Newcastle Institute for Energy Resources. Effectively, as part of the research division of the university, more importantly, we're concentrating researchers into areas of national significance, notionally energy and the resources sectors. And what we're looking there is to address issues of productivity, sustainability, and future technologies, which can drive not only successes in wealth creation in the country, but also create jobs, but more importantly address the issues of social impacts and environmental sustainability.
Are we seeing this off the back of things like coal very much coming to an end in the foreseeable future? We're not saying it's going to end next week or in 10 years, but we do need to start to plan for the future and think about what will happen, beyond coal and other fossil fuels.
Yeah, it goes back to where you started. The future is near.
Yes.
We can't sit down and wait for a transition to happen. We need to lead the transition and drive it for its positive aspects. So for when we look here at the Hunter, what we have, our strategical advantage is not that we're the biggest coal port in the world, is that we have one of the largest skill bases in energy in the MET sector, which is mining, equipment, technology and service in the country.
So there are people you're referring to.
That's right. And I went to a talk where they talked about, is Newcastle the resources city? No, it's a resourceful city.
Very clever.
And if there's definitely going to be a transformation in energy. It's happening as we speak. It's going to accelerate for the needs of sustainability and productivity. And in there is going to be new services, new technologies, and new ways of doing business. The way that our processes will be re-engineered, as if you can use that terminology. At the Hunter, we have that capacity. At the Hunter, we can attract those new industries to actually take the advantage that we can best capitalise on it. Otherwise, we'll miss the boat.
Can you give me some real-life examples at the moment of those kinds of things you're talking about, Alan? Because I can imagine people listening in their cars and kitchens and thinking, but what does that really mean for me and my life? So what are some examples?
Well, examples is that we're looking at the modernisation of the grid. The grid has to be restructured to allow for distributed generation, to bring in new technologies to evolve and come on board. We've just been part of the Smart Grid, Smart City project here in the Hunter, where we trial smart meters. It's not really just about the meters in your house and what tariff you will pay, but actually to enable us to employ smart technologies so that we can use our energy more efficiently and give us more choices on what energies we deploy in our industries, in our schools and in our homes. Big breakthroughs will come in battery storage, microgrids, so that new estates will have their own energy capacity to generate and store and to sell on peak.
Will that come via things like solar?
Yes, it's solar. There is a preoccupation on the generation and part of energy product, but it will be augmented of any new product that comes. And what we've got to be careful of is that when change comes, it tends to be disruptive. It's like when we introduced the computer, when we introduced the internet.
Yes.
I was reading an article in the paper just this morning about photosynthesis.
Yeah, okay.
No, photosynthesis, which is what we do in nature. How we can create artificial photosynthesis to create hydrogen as a new energy source. So these things will hit us quickly. We won't see them coming. But we have to have the capacity to accelerate these new technologies into market to get the best solutions. And the answer is that what will the energy sources be? It'll be more of a hybrid system, and they'll be all collected, and we'll be harvesting heat Waste that normally goes to the atmosphere and regeneration of that back into energy sources.
That's so. I find it really exciting to hear you talking like this, Alan Broadfoot, because to me, these are the sorts of ideas that we need. I often used to walk on hot concrete and think, oh my goodness, there's so much energy stored in that piece of concrete. It burns your feet. I wonder one day whether we'll be able to use that. And you've just said what I think a lot of average people, we think about it, but we now have facilities like NEAR that is doing the research for us. What sort of projects are you working on?
Well, they're broad ranging. They range from the experimentation with heat engines to extract it from, say, diesels and convert that back into energy. We're running a national program for coal mine abatement technologies. That's removing fugitive gas out of the main airstreams, escaping the atmosphere.
So that's the methane and stuff like that? Is that what
yeah,
you mean?
that has the capacity to eliminate 95% of the greenhouse release into that, which is a 3% impact. We're doing life cycle analysis on cotton farms, which are highly energy intense. We sometimes forget 25% of our carbon footprint is coming from agriculture. As we go into a period of intensification of our agriculture to do with the Asian century, we need to get smart energy solutions in there now, and we have to understand all the inputs that go into farming. Like 100th of the world's energy goes into making fertilizer.
That's incredible, isn't it?
So we're looking at that. We're looking at new forms of battery storage, new fuel cell technologies. We'll be looking at hydrogen generation as a fuel manufactured from there is an option to convert CO2 into hydrogen under that model.
Okay.
And it's carbon.
It's all happening here in Newcastle, which is really the exciting thing.
Well, NEAR is a national hub. It's a federal government initiative. It is about collaboration. It's a collaboration with international universities, Australian universities, industry, and the different groupings around the interested parties around Australia on how we can deliver fast, accelerated, applied research that has a horizon of solutions in the immediate, not in 25 years' time.
Yeah, exactly. Alan Broadfoot, Director of the Newcastle Institute for Energy and Resources, otherwise known as NEAR. Thank you so much for your time, and can you please put me on your contact list? I would love to let people know of these exciting developments as they unfold. Talk to you more often about these things because it really is our future, very, very near.
Thank you very much for that.
Alan Broadfoot, Director of the Newcastle Institute for Energy and Resources. Doesn't that just put you in a good frame of mind, thinking that there are clever people working on real life solutions for now? It's not all doom and gloom, hand wringing, what are we going to do next?